Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am your English instructor. In today's class, we are going to study about the reading portion of Unit 17, that is Agreeing and Disagreeing. So, let's begin. Alright everyone, this is the title of today's topic. It's called Susila's Determination. It's a short, one act play, a drama of sorts, and we're going to study it. So, let's begin. We have three characters here. The first one is Mrs. Oza, the second one is Susila, and third one is Mr. Oza. Right? Mr. Oza is the father, Mrs. Oza is the mother, while Susila is their daughter. It is a one-act play of sorts. Not exactly a play, but looks like a play. Alright, let's start. Mrs. Oza, Susila, it is time your father and I had a talk with you. Susila, yes, mother, what is it about? Mr. Oza, well, you know that your mother and I are very concerned about your future. You know that we are not rich. If we were rich, we would send you to a university. Since we could not do that, we have considered the best course for you to do what Nepalese young ladies have done for centuries. Susila, and what is that? Mrs. Oza, Susila, you're not very respectful to your father. Imagine you are asking your father rudely, what's that? Before he has the chance to tell you. Susila, I am sorry, mother, but I was not rude, only anxious. Mr. Oza, it's all right, Susila. Well, we think it's time you got married. Susila, gasping, but I... Mrs. Oza, there's no need to get excited. If I were you, I would listen to the whole thing first. Mr. Oza, we understand your anxiety, Susila. You have been brought up in this foreign country, so different from Nepal. Had you been brought up in Nepal, you would have thought it natural to get married at this age. Susila, Father, I can feel that. As I cannot go to a university, the best career I can look forward to is that of a nurse. Many of the young ladies I know are nurses and have excellent careers in private clinics. Had you allowed me to apply to the nursing institute, I would have got a scholarship. Mr. Oza, but there is no secure future in being a nurse. Although it's a noble profession, it doesn't pay much. Susila, but I don't see any security in marriage. I do not know what my future husband would be like. You have not told me who he is. Mrs. Oza, angrily, you are too impatient. If I were you, I'd have complete trust in my parents. Of course, we have chosen a most suitable man for you, one who will give you and your future children all the security you need. Susila, but will he show me love, kindness, and consideration, besides giving me security? Mrs. Oza, I am sorry to see that you have been so influenced by your friends, films, and television. I agreed to marry your father without having seen him before, without even knowing his name. He gave me all the kindness I required. Hasn't he treated you and your brother well? Susila, after a pause and in tears. Yes, mother, I agree entirely with you, with what you say about father. You were lucky. But how do I know I shall be as fortunate as you? Mrs. Oza, lucky? There's no such thing. Of course, besides all we could worry about your future husband and your family, we have consulted your horoscope. If you believe in your horoscope, the marriage will turn out very well. Mr. Oza, have you considered who is going to pay for your nursing course? Susila, but you will have to find money for my marriage. Mr. Oza, after a pause, yes, I will. Mrs. Oza, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. He's right, Susila's father. Instead of saving money for her marriage, we should spend it on her education. Then she will be able to find a good husband for herself. Oh, mother. She hugs her mother. Source adapted from Forte Longman, 1989. So this was the drama, or one-act play. Not exactly a play, but sort of, because a play contains other elements. Just having characters, and dialogues does not make a good play. A play should have something else. A drama basically contains 3 acts. We do have 5 acts drama of Shakespeare. That's something entirely different. One-act play. So this is what the designers of your course book decided to keep. Sort of dialogues going on between two or three people and calling it a drama. Alright, that's fine. Now let us start solving the exercise portion. First we will do vocabularies. Number A is feeling. fear and uncertain. V is catching. So these are the words. From the reading portion, can you find out the meanings? The first one is feeling fear and uncertainty. What is it? Do you remember? It's anxiety. Very good. Catching the breath in gasping. Susila did. She was gasping by saying, but she was gasping at that moment. So what does this phrase mean? Catching the breath in surprise. This means gasping. Thoughtfulness for the feeling of others. What does Susila say? But will he show me love, kindness, and consideration besides giving me security? So thoughtfulness for the feeling of others is consideration. What do we mean by the word lucky? You were lucky. But how do I know myself if as fortunate is you? Lucky means fortunate. Chart showing the position of stars at birth. What is it called? A horoscope. Very good. Now let's go to the comprehension part. Reading comprehension. Alright, these are the first two questions. Very easy. Let's start with the first one. Susila's parents are concerned about her. Is it career, marriage, or higher studies? Well, they are concerned about her marriage. So marriage is the answer. Susila wants to be a nurse, a doctor, or a teacher. Well, she wants to be a nurse. Very easy. Alright, these are some more questions. The first one is Susila seems as he was brought up in. Is it India, Nepal, or overseas? Well, there's a mention of the word. There's a word called foreign in the text, so we can imagine it's probably overseas. According to Susila, who is lucky? It was her mother. And what was her mother's name? Mrs. Oza. So Mrs. Oza is the answer. At the end, Susila's parents decided to... What did they decide? Did they decide, to marry her daughter or to complete her studies or maybe force her to stay at home? So what they did was they let her join the nursing course. Right, this is the answer. Now let's go to the answer question session. I'm not going to answer all the questions. I'm just going to give you some basic hints about how to answer questions in exams. Right, these are the first two questions. Let's start with the first one. Why don't Susila's parents want to send her to a university? So what could be the reason? Is it because they are too narrow-minded, or is it because they are financially, backward? So what could be the answer? Try to find the, probable answer. So it could be maybe the economic reasons. Also, it could be the narrow-minded mentality. So these are the keywords. While you are answering the question, you must begin like they don't want to. So your answer should begin like that. The question is, why don't Susila's parents want? So your answer should be they don't want to, and so on. Right? The question is in V1. Your answer should also be in V1. Do not mix up the tenses. So the probable reasons could be, economic reasons because they are financially poor. Also, they are narrow-minded because they believe that after a certain age, the girl should be married. And also, they do not, believe in nursing career because they think, although it's a noble profession, it won't pay much. Something like that. Right? Let's go to the second question. Was her parents' marriage a love marriage? How do we know? No, it was not a love marriage because, Mrs. Oza didn't even see her future husband's face, didn't even know his name, so it was not a love marriage. So no, it was not a love marriage. It was not. So you can write your answer like that. So the question is in V2. Your answer should also be in V2. Right, there are two more questions. The first one is, why does Susila say that her mother was lucky? Why do you think? It must be because she got a good husband. All loving, all caring husband. So it's hard to find a husband like that in arranged marriage. The question is in V5. Your answer must also be in V5. Why does Susila say that her mother was lucky? She said so because, now you can write your answer, because she got, an all-loving, all-caring husband. All-loving, all-caring husband. So it's hard to find a husband like that in arranged marriage. And let's go to the second one. What's Susila's suggestion about money to pay for her studies? So the question is in V1. So your answer should be something like her suggestion is. So what was her suggestion? She wanted her father's money to be invested in her studies, not in her marriage. So yes, in studies, no, not in marriage. So she didn't want her father's money to be invested in her marriage. She wanted her money, her father's money to be invested in her studies so that she would get a better husband. Alright, this is another question, and this question is more based on logic and reasoning. If you were Susila's parents, what would you do? Here we have V2, and if you have studied the conditional sentences very well, this is what we call a hypothetical but possible sentence. It is a hypothetical but possible sentence. Hypothetical but possible, because that is the structure. Here we have if V2, and here we have would and V1, right? So answer that way. How would you answer? If you were Susila's parents, what would you do? Your answer would be something like, if I was Susila's parents, then what would you do? I would. Now write your own answer. What would you do? Would you, compel Susila, let's say this stick woman is our Susila. Would you compel Susila to stay in home? Or would you, compel Susila to marry a man she doesn't even know? Or would you let her study? What would you do? So these three could be the probable answer. I would, compel her to stay in home because that's what a girl should do. Or maybe I would compel her to marry because the boy is really nice and has got lots and lots of money. Or maybe I would let her study because it is only after studying, studying much and working hard, she would get a nice man. The question is based on reason and logic. Use your brain and answer. With that, we have come to the end of today's class. Now I'm going to give you some homework as usual. Your homework is, pretend that you are Susila. You're going to pretend that you are Susila and you're going to write a letter to one of your friends describing how you were able to persuade your parents to allow you to go to a university, right? So it's a kind of persuasive letter. You're going to start something like, dear friend, dear Nisa, dear Rohan, I'm very happy today and want to share my happiness with you. My parents have agreed to let me go to university, but it was not easy. Actually, they wanted to get me married. They had already planned and everything was, in their heads. But now start your answer from there. Just write a letter. Can you do this? I guess you can. With that, we have come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.